This video demonstrates completing a project using Flowpro and a Solutions DanceBot. By using a top-down approach, I start by defining the goal and gathering the hardware. Within Flowpro, I start by defining the parts of the program I will need, like a control for the motor and for the lights. Then I finish by actually programming each of these parts. The goal of this project will be a robot that moves like a charmed snake in reaction to a flute being played. I will use a LEGO NXT Tribot and the Solutions DanceBot controller as the hardware. Upon first opening Flowpro, make sure that your controller and computer are connected and click Run Connection Wizard. This will adjust the settings for the correct board. I'll save this program as Snake Charmer. I'll start by defining the goal of the project as a robot that moves like a charmed snake when a flute is played, and displays a light show. Since this project will analyze the music from a flute, I'll need the object called Music Beam Analyzer. This object stores a value in register 16 that corresponds to the frequency received. From the object icon pull-down, select Browser. Right-clicking on the object and selecting Information shows a note written about the object. This object is never done, so the test block that is automatically placed is not needed and can be deleted. I'll need to create two new flowcharts, one for the motion control and one for the light show. This will help to provide a framework for the program. A new object is created by selecting the Edit Flowcharts icon and clicking on New Object Chart. I'll click on Create Task Object because I plan for the object to include a time span. I'll name the Light Show object as Snake Eyes since it will be displaying a snake's face. The second object will control the motion of the robot. It will also include a time span, so it will be a task object as well. And I'll name it Charmed Motion. And then I'll place the objects into the flowchart. Now I'll begin to program these objects. Starting with the Snake Eyes object, I'll create a note to describe its function. This object will constantly be running, so it will never be done. It will create a snake face display and blink the eyes between two colors. Placing a note in cell B2 becomes the information property for the object. This object will blink between two sets of eyes, a yellow set with red pupils and a set of red eyes with yellow pupils. I'll create a task object that will turn on just the purple LEDs, then I'll create one for each set of eyes. This will make the program simpler to organize rather than arranging all the control blocks in the Snake Eyes object. I'll make some room for the program, and then check to see if any of the objects already exist. I didn't make them yet, so that would have been weird if they were there. I'll make a new action object, because all this object will do is turn on all the purple LEDs to light the snake face. Then I'll create an action object to turn on the yellow LEDs with red pupils. And an action object for the red eyes with yellow pupils. The first eyes to light will be the yellow set. Then there should be a pause, and then the red set should display. Using a wait block, you can simply enter the time span. But I'll use a register to store the value so that it's possible to change it somewhere else in the program. and I'll name the register blink eye rate. Now I'll add the red set. And another pause before looping back to the yellow set. I'll connect all the lines. Each light on a rainbow beam is composed of 3 LEDs, red, green, and blue. A combination of red and blue will produce a purple light, so I'll need to turn on the red and blue LEDs for all of the outputs that are purple in the picture. I'll start with the third beam. Using a control block, I can turn on the outputs that correspond to the correct beam LED and color. I'll start by turning on the LEDs of the third beam. And then I'll create blocks to turn on the remaining purple LEDs. And then I'll just connect the lines. And create the information for the object by placing a note in B2. I'll start by creating the information for this object, that it creates yellow eyes with red pupils. Using a combination of red and green, I'll turn on all the outputs for the yellow eyes. Now I'll create the object to light the red set of eyes. And I'll start by creating the information for it. This object is pretty similar to the yellow eyes object, so I'll just copy and paste the code, and change what I need to make it light red eyes with yellow pupils. It'll be simple, just remove the green LEDs from the yellow lights, and add a green to the red ones. This one is yellow, so I'll just take away its green LED, and then I'll modify the rest of the blocks. So far, we've only been turning on LEDs, but between each blink we'll have to turn off the lights of the eyes, so that when we turn on LEDs of a new color, only the ones that we want will be on. To do this, I'll create a new action object and name it Shut Off Eye LEDs, and then place it into the object. Since all the LEDs of this object need to be shut off, I'll copy and paste the control blocks into this new object. Then just turn off all the outputs, but I still need to add a green LED to the pupil and turn it off. And then I'll insert the Shut Off Eye LEDs object into the Red Eyes object. This is the light pattern that the Snake Eyes object will create.